All right, I hope everybody's doing well this Saturday. We're going to start this off with a little parody, and then we're going to talk about the main issue, just to give you a little bit of understanding of what's going to happen here. Hi, I want to be a voice actor. I'm going to go on these different websites and write a bunch of stuff to people about how I want to be a VA. And I'm going to audition for all kinds of different things on these websites because if I audition for more stuff, I'm going to be in more stuff. What a brilliant idea. I just auditioned for a couple of projects and I got into them and now I'm on the voice thing and I'm this is so great because now my wishes and ambitions are coming and being into into being. Elliot, hold on, I'm trying to get to it. Let me do my parody. Relax. Doesn't have to be the first one at all times. This isn't breaking news or anything like that. All right, let's get back to the parody. 3 days have passed since this character was accepted onto these various projects. Oh man, some of the people that I auditioned for are asking me to actually record stuff. This guy just sent me 3 scripts. I'll record them. The person records the 3 scripts. I just sent the 3 scripts to him, and then he sent me another 3. Well, right now I'm not doing anything, and I guess I could record this, but I'm gonna let this. I'm not gonna do that because I can record it later on, even though currently I'm free and I'm able to do this. So I guess I'll just record this later on. 2 weeks pass. Oh, the guy said he wants me to record the stuff, but I've come down with the cold. It's not like I could have recorded that before I got sick and thereby not further delayed the project. 2 more weeks pass. Oh, the guy wants to know what my status is. Well, even though he knows that I go on social media, and even though I know that I can leave him a message and clear this up and probably get another extension because then I would actually be communicating with him, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go on YouTube or some other website that tracks when I've been online and show him that I have internet access and I could theoretically message him anytime that I want, but I'm just not doing it because of reasons only known to me. Two more weeks pass. Oh, this guy wants to know what I'm doing and how come I haven't recorded anything. Well, I guess I can finally say something. Dear sir, I have not written, I have not, excuse me, I apologize. I have not recorded anything because I'm so busy and I don't have time to do things as I'm online every single day for hours on end doing nothing. Uh, Please give me an extension. You know what? That's not even a fair comparison because what they actually do is not say anything. So now that I've given my parody that has caused Mark to leave and withdraw and caused Elliot to storm off in anger and disillusion, I'm going to give you a basic overview of what's going on. So typically, when I'm at the center of a project, I wear a lot of hats. I usually am the one who does the art. I edit it, write the script, and whatnot. Now, Ellie, we know you left, and that's just your automated system leaving comments. You were very disgusted by that parody. But usually, when I do these different things, I'm typically and I hate saying doing the most, but on an objective level, I am doing the most stuff. And part of working on any multiple people collaboration, if you can even call it that, I can't think of an easier way to refer to it, is attempting to get and understand the issues that are plaguing other people from doing their stuff, and attempting to be sympathetic toward the fact that people just have things they have to do outside of catering to whatever you're interested in doing. But what I've noticed is that I've seen sort of a frustration on my own end because it seems like now I've been told that I'm superstitious for saying, oh, this has a curse or a hex on it. But I used to believe that if you just talk to enough of these voice actors, if you just try to compromise with them, they can meet you halfway or even more than that sometimes. And instead, what I've been getting from some of them is this thing of like where they'll get on a project and then they'll do maybe like 2 or 3 scripts and then disappear like Jimmy Hoffa. You're perpetuating with individuals who constantly let you down no matter what you do. Pretty much. And Mark, again, my thing is that I wrote. I tell these people, if you need an extension, I can do that. Just say something. And all of them are online. They're always posting something somewhere, so it's not like I got stuck in the Bermuda Triangle and I can't say anything to you. They just choose to not say anything while also not doing anything. So you have to keep hounding them to just get them to perform the most basic of functions. This was actually kind of similar to and I'll do a separate, not stream, but I'll do a video on this, the chick thing where it's like, you talk to these people and you put all this effort into it, and then they just, like no matter what you do, they do the least, and then you get the blame and the prosecution for being the reason it didn't happen or go through. And it's like, well, hell, if I have to draw this stuff out, I've got to write this out, if I've got to, not hunt down, but go and get all these voice actors together, and then, let's say out of these 8 people, 7 of them record their stuff, but one of them doesn't. That screws over the other 8 people, including myself, or the other 7 people, but 8 including me. And it's almost a thing of sort of, if it was just me and that one person who's messing up doing it, I probably would just say screw it and not bother anymore. But I can't live with myself knowing that because of one person refusing to do their part, this other group of people is going to have the work that they took the time to do completely ignored or otherwise not paid attention to. Like that bothers me, because it's not just, oh, I got screwed. No, it's literally a bunch of other people who actually did what you want them to do being punished as well. I've tried to also say that whenever I do these types of like the venting or whatever, there have been people who have said, oh, well, you're just saying this because you want to put someone on blood. No, it's not about attempting to demonize a group of people. I've said before, there are plenty of them that I've encountered who actually do their stuff. But what ends up happening is that there's always a bad apple in the group who, sometimes are actually talented and they still can't hone that into actually doing the things that they assign themselves for. Like, you go on this website, right? Just use Mark as the recent example because he's the last message on here. But you go on this website and you see this person who's posted maybe 5 auditions every 2 days, right? And they're getting cast for like 30, 40, 50 projects, or out of like every 300 or 400 that they've auditioned for. And, they then complain, oh man, I don't have the time. It's like, well, you don't have the time because you were stupid enough to get involved in all this different stuff to where every single thing that you've been accepted for is now getting canceled out due to you purposefully overinflating your schedule. Like, just think about that in the real world, right? Let's pretend Mark was like, you know what, I'm going to be a member of the NBA, and he gets accepted to to the league or whatever. And then at the same time, he's trying to get an application to work at, I don't know, Burger King, and then also work at Walmart. And they're like, oh, well, I can't work these 3 jobs at once. It's like, yeah, no duh. Of course you can't. But like, this doesn't register to them when they just go around auditioning over and over and over. Like, they act like it's this fallacy where people think if I just get involved in the most stuff, I'm gonna, like, I don't know, blow up. In the same sense that if I just have 3 jobs, I'm gonna be some rich person. It's like, no, you have to. There's a human factor involved. Theoretically, you can work on 20 projects and be more known than if you were to work on just 2 or 3. But if you're still only one person who has to record for all of this stuff at the exact same time, it's gonna get screwed. Most of the time, you talk about people that you can maybe write you off and show you they don't care. Continue asking favors of them, finding who is a real friendly. Well, no, Elliot. Again, this made my fault. I didn't give the context. With one of these projects, I had literally spoken to about maybe like it's somewhere between 19 to 20, over a dozen VAs. And I can accept people that say, I don't want to do this. Yeah, I think it's stupid because I don't objectively get what objections you would have to doing something where all you have to do is read a piece of paper and the person gives you time to do the stuff. But whatever, I can at least accept that because the person being upfront and they're admitting their distaste for what you're doing. In the case of these dozens I spoke to, there were only about 2 people that did that, and the rest would do this thing where they ask you all these questions. And I did a video about this that you can probably go back and look for. They ask you all these questions about what type of thing you're doing just to like say no. So let's pretend Elliot was asking me if I wanted to work on his project, and I'm not interested, right? Or I'm busy. That's the other excuse they use. Instead of just saying, "I'm sorry, Elliot, I would love to do this, but at the moment I'm preoccupied with this." I go, "Oh no, Elliot, what's the project about?" Elliot tells me what the project's about. I ask Elliot, "How much time do I have?" He answer that. I ask Elliot, "What does it look like?" Which is what one person actually asked me. Elliot answers that. "Do you have any other samples of your previous work?" Elliot answers that. Uh, what platform will this be released on? Elliot answers that. "Oh no, sorry, Elliot, I'm so busy, and I got all these major stuff I'm doing. So no, thank you." Or I just abruptly stop responding. Do you get how where that is the most aggravating? Because I'll tell you like it is. When I had the 2 months of looking for this particular person who was to do this role, which again was like literally me talking over a dozen people. It wasn't just you go up, they say no. It's you talk to these people and they act like they have split personalities. You have to hear all this stuff about here's a questionnaire, let's play Jeopardy, and then the payoff is them declining or otherwise not going through with it. Like I've literally had a person who came in here twice to give me to announce to me that they give me their email, then I go and look for it and it's not there. So then nothing happens. But it's that same kind of red herring I talk about where, so much of what we do is staked on people telling us that if you just do this enough, it will eventually happen, and us believing it because we want to be as optimistic as them, and then getting the harsh reality of, no, that's not the case. Just like I've had plenty of videos that I thought were really good that only got 20 or 30 views. I had to go and share on Twitter or some other platform. And people always say, "Oh, if you just make this good." I said, look, the way YouTube currently is that there are about maybe 100 or so channels that have hundreds of thousands of subs and higher. And the rest of us are all peons scrambling at the bottom to get people to watch our stuff, even our own subscribers, because as I mentioned before, you go on any of these, like whether it's CNN or Fox, any of these different channels that have 1 million subscribers, and you look at these videos that aren't even getting 100,000. So most people that sub are just not active on actually watching the stuff. Same thing with PewDiePie. Any person you can think of that has any sort of like high number of viewers or subs, the actual views don't translate. So, when I see that, I'm not convinced, oh my God, all these different channels are making crappy content that nobody wants. No. It's the fact that these places are fed a fallacy that if you just have this many subs, things are good or great. And then in practice, it's not that way. So, I believe this idea that if I just go out and talk to dozens of VAs, somebody will say yes. And it wasn't that way. And thus I'm stuck with the consequences of, having it turn out the opposite way. Have to work soon. I just came here to say hello. Well, like I said, Ruben, tell me your schedule and then we can make accommodations. I didn't think this was something you'd be into anyway, so I do appreciate you saying hello. That's not real friendship then, simple. Mark says, Elliot, being a friend doesn't stop someone from behaving the same way, aka being a flake. Yeah, that's my point. That like, I'm not trying to be friends with these people. I just want, like, if you sign up for something, do it. Like with my project, right? I've had voice actors quit on me. I've had people like just abruptly disappear. And yes, I think it's stupid. Yes, I think it's dumb. Yes, I think they're lazy, but it doesn't stop me from still, like actively trying to find replacements and make accommodations and do all the, other stuff involved with it. And I feel like that same level of determination isn't really shown in the, I guess, responses or behaviors of my contemporaries that have much less to do by virtue of them reading a paper while I have to edit the whole thing along with, create everything else that isn't voice related. And this is palpable in the chick thing. You go and you get told that because you have a banana, you have to go out and appeal to these people with a bunch of money, be funny, wear some stupid type of clothes you don't even like, talk some certain way, attempt to flirt, all these other things that people tell you to do, and then all the woman has to do is just have a triangle, and suddenly she can have her pick of the litter. And that's what the VA thing is like. It's like, I go out here and I have to make this pitch and write out these paragraphs telling you what the stuff is about, outlining how I want this to be done. And then these people, a few of them out of the hundreds that see it sign up for it, and then they don't even do their own part. Like, you're held to your side of the bargain, and then they just completely get to be as flexible and as non-concerned with what you're trying to do as possible. And then you can't even replace them because you go around asking these other VAs and they're all lazy. They're all doing this. Oh, you want me to record? Well, I gotta know 30 answer questions about it. Oh yeah. If I record, I want to know. That's how they act. This is exactly them. All they do is feed you some crap about what they intend to do, and then not do it. And like I'm so tired of seeing these here's the thing, right? The chick thing was bad because there were things I wanted to do with various broads, but I can still, at the very core of as a human being, say, okay, that's not, even if that was a goal I had, it's still not something that is like earth shattering. Like, it's not something I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm like, oh my god, I don't have anyone laying next to me. It's time to slip my wrist. When you have the project and it's like you write this stuff out, you have people that say they want to do it, and then when you actually execute the thing, what are they doing? They're disappearing. You're telling them, hey, I can give you an extension. They still won't do it. I mean, like, and then you go around and you try to find replacements, and on these websites, all you're seeing is the same thing. Well, if I knew a little bit more about the thing, then maybe I'll consider it. Then you type stuff to them. Well, I'm not really interested. Then why the hell did you say I need to tell you more stuff then? Like, I'm so sick of that. It's like that is literally, when I think of catfish or just like pretend, like fake, phony, flaky, that kind of stuff, that's the poster child of it. I am so sick of talking to these idiots on these different websites who want to call themselves voice actors when they really should call themselves time wasters, who try to convince you that they have the slightest interest in what you're doing, and then like it's the complete opposite. Just like that. Like, go to that. Let me see if I can find that video. There's a video I did where I showed the screenshots of some of their messages. You had one broad who literally went, the message right before saying, I can't do this is, well, let me know about it. Let me talk to, please tell me about it. It's like, well, dingbat, if you couldn't do it, why would you want to know more about it? The message right before. What was that, written by your ghostwriter? By your spokesman who was unaware of your schedule but had access to your account? Like, what the hell? Audio is forcing out a little bit. All right, that might be my headphones like getting bobbed around back and forth. Let me see. Let me know when it gets better, Mark, if it does. I mean, I could easily just like take this and then upload it as a separate video, or like basically take the same points I was making here and stick it as its own thing that I upload later on. So I don't know if Elliot can hear me. I don't know if it's improved. I don't know what the status is. I'd like an update. Like I was saying, you go on these different places, it's okay for now. He anticipates it getting crappy again. Hey, the audio is like me and the all the stuff I'm talking about. It's like, oh, it's all right at first, then it gets crappy, then you think it's getting a little bit better, then you think it gets crappier. Man, I just feel like all this stuff is just me torturing myself. Like, when I go and talk to VAs, it literally is like talking to chicks. You think they're gonna do your thing or do what you want them to when you first start out. Then you keep getting all those no's back and forth. It's like, man, I can't do this. And then the craziest thing is you'll have people who then will say, "You're the reason your thing is not." But it's like, how the hell did I get the other ones? With magic? Hey, did I click my heels 3 times to make them, want to acquiesce to my petulance? Like I'm really tired of the blame game. It seems the only time people do it is to like go after the person who is actually trying to do stuff. Why can't you ask your or someone you can trust? Well, he's not a voice actor, first of all. Secondly, I'm not going to get a person who is not, like interested in doing that stuff and go, since we're friends, you must participate in my project. Hmm. Or you have to be as confident. LO, I'm so sick and tired of hearing this garbage. Yeah, they keep on singing this song. Um, and it's like I really wish I could just like I would love if I could have, and we've been over this before, like how simple things can be. I wish I could have had maybe 7 or 8 people that work on this thing, have they do a little extension stuff, but they still are determined to do it. And then like just been the person who edits it and puts it all together. But instead, I'm like a part-time editor and a part-time um, huntsman looking for different people to do this thing. Like going on all these different websites, sending people all these messages, and I'm just like sick of it. Like I was burnt out. Like for this particular project I was talking about, where I spoke to over a dozen VAs. I didn't find anybody in that 2 month period of talking to dozens of them, but I eventually got someone else to do it, and it was like, what was the point of going on that website if no one on there was willing to do this? Like, what's the point of even using any of these places if the people that are there are not willing to actually be of assistance? Like one of the first VAs I ever had, who like was involved in my different things, said something to the effect of, like on her Twitter page, if you need me to record anything, just let me know. As she was dodging and ducking and weaving from the Strip Diet Center, and like that's the kind of double speak and hypocrisy I'm talking about, where they say one thing and do the opposite. It's the same thing with the chick stuff. We've been over this a million times, where you go on these websites and they talk about they want this man, they want that man, yada yada yada, and then you go and talk to them, and like I swear, man, it's almost like it's like playing. What's a good example of some Rika game? Like just any like Russian roulette almost, where just anything you say can piss these people off and make them just stop speaking. And then even if you speak to them for some prolonged time, you just get friend zoned anyway. And then if you say, hey, I have a problem with the current status of this interaction, yes, you happen to be entitled. So it all connects. And I couldn't believe when I went out and started sending the messages. I was like, there's no way you can ask this many VAs and get no one to say yes. Especially if they're like, it's not like I just randomly PM random people on, let's say, YouTube. These are people who have shown themselves as wanting to voice act. And they are repeatedly and casually and consistently choosing not to do the stuff. And like I said, another thing happens is these people will get on your thing and then they just won't record anything ever. Like I had one of them who literally said, I can record whenever, like as one of their first messages when we encountered each other a few months ago, and they record a few times. I say, oh, thank you, I appreciate it. I send some more stuff, they don't record it, and then they just like completely disappear after that. Like to where they just stop to respond. I was like, what the hell? But again, that's that red herring where it's, they say one thing and then the opposite happens. I think they lost interest, but might be it. But they couldn't come to terms telling you, one, maybe they didn't want to hurt you, so they think running off is the easy way out. Yeah, it's the easy way out for people that don't do anything besides read a piece of paper. The person who actually has to edit it and do everything else has to put up with your decision to be tardy and decide to, disappear. I really do hate that. I hate the fact that like as the person who is trying to do this, you have to like pay for their negligence and refusal to do certain things. Like, you know, you did something wrong because they decided to bail out or stop responding. Like I have the same VA who like on the current one, I have a list of the like 7 recurring people. And out of that whole group, there was only one person on there who sickens me. Like every time I see their username, I get pissed off because they went out of their way to highlight when people go on websites that, like I said, show when you're online. Like if you go on YouTube and you say, I've been on there in 3 months, and then you have your liked videos public, and it's like updated today. They've gone out of their way to show the fact that they're online. And then when you send them a message, tumbleweeds, like the little thing that just goes past the screen. And I think to myself, if every single other person can respond back, can eventually do their stuff, and just seems to be able to actually pay attention to what's going on, except you, then that means you're the problem. Like, no, it's not me and my ridiculous work. No, it's you. If every single other person on here can get accommodated, can get extensions, and not have the person pissed off, and it's just you who won't respond or speak or interact or act like a human being at all, that's your problem. That you're trying to impose on me and the other people who have taken the time to do the things that they said they would do. Like I said, I don't get pissed when it's just, hey, can you do this? No, okay, fine, whatever. When it's, hey, can you do this? Well, I guess. And then they record one time, and then you try talking to them again, and they disappear like Jimmy Hoffa. That's the issue, man. And like I said, one of the ways this is connected to the chick stuff is that people take what you say about it, and then they try to like make it seem as if you just put you do this one thing differently, and it's all going to like suddenly flip over and reverse. Like I had one person who said something to the effect of, if you put this in a different category on this site, you'll get more responses. I put it in a different category, got no more responses. I had somebody else who said, start randomly DMing people on this site. I did that. I mean, only one time did somebody actually respond back and show some interest, and then they disappeared after a little while. So it's just a thing where people like have convinced themselves this stuff is that easy that you can just do something and then it's all going to flip around. And I'm just burnt out, man. I'm sick of it. Like, imagine having to draw hundreds of pictures, like just per installment, along with editing, which takes several hours, and then the person who has to read a piece of paper and say a couple of lines a few times is like, oh no, I'm the one who is suffering here and having such a difficult time, and not being able to do my stuff, and I'm so overwhelmed, and all the other sad songs that can be played on this world's smallest violin. Like like I said, I don't have a problem giving people the benefit of the doubt and saying, okay, you need more time, whatever, but just speak. But like these people won't even say anything; they just disappear after getting on something. It's crazy. And like I've had a few, to their credit, where like, oh no, my technology was destroyed or whatever. It's like, okay, fine, whatever. I'm not gonna get upset over that. But just like in this era, we actually have people who think I am so stupid as to not see them online, which again, internet tells on them, and not know that they are purposefully and going out of their way to dodge and ignore my attempts to get them to record the stuff that they said they would do. I had one person who literally only recorded something once in like 6 months. I was like, are you out of your damn mind? And they were able to get away with it because that was when I was having to go around and look for the other VA. I was like, look, man, you know, now that we found this person, I'm gonna get more on these scripts, and they're gonna come out quicker because now I don't have to search for, you know, something as stupid as a single voice actor who knows how to actually do what they say they'll do. So their days are numbered, and they're very lucky that I haven't been able to find anybody else that has an identical voice. Because if I did, I would cut them off in 5 seconds. Over here trying to run me over and tell me what way my stuff should be conducted. It's like, no, man, you sit here and you try to acquiesce to them, and they can't even send you a message. Hell, you even have some people who don't even respond. Like I have one of them who doesn't respond to the actual. Like you send them a message, they don't say anything back, but they will do the scripts. I'm like, all right, you know what? You don't have to talk to me ever. Just record the stuff, and they do that. I was like, all right, that's perfectly fine. So this isn't like, I don't want there to be any misconceptions on Mark's part. I'm not trying to have any like friendships or back and forths with any of these characters. It's just I would prefer the people actually do the stuff they said they would do, and you get this weird sort of soap opera type like back and forth with these people. Like I had one VA who signed up and like for a month just kept, it was like I was on a dog collar and they were just yanking my chain over and over. Oh yeah, I'm gonna record this week because you know I'm home alone. And then you go and you speak to them and they're like, oh, not yet. And then 2 weeks later, I might have to quit this project. Like, you didn't even record anything, dingbat. You didn't record a single thing, and you're telling me you might have to quit. When did you ever start? I had no idea. No wonder why people change due to negative reinforcement. You're forced to be firm with people. Yeah, I hate doing this. I hate having to like go on these sites and say voice actors suck and oh my god, the bane of getting other people to work on your stuff. But because again, there are multiple people who I've never had a problem with when it came to recording stuff. And like for whatever reason, it's with these people that they've chosen for it to be the way that it is. Like I want to make a stream with that title now, Mark. Negative reinforcement, because you go out here optimistic, right? Okay, you got 20,000 VAs on this website. There is no way in hell that I can't get 3 of them to work on this project for, you know, like just to read lines for a few scripts, right? There's no way that can happen. And you literally speak to over a dozen of them and you say, okay, look, man, how many of these people do I have to talk to before I can just get what I want? Like, to what extent do I have to go? And it was the same. Like I keep saying, it's just like the chick stuff. I literally spoke to, if you count unresponded to messages, like ones I sent that nobody responded to, you can easily say I approached over 100 chicks, both in person and online. I said to myself, as I was reading all these comments about just wait 3 years, just wait until 2,999 after everybody. I sat back and I said, there's no way, you know, I can just keep going out and torturing myself talking to these people who don't give a damn about me and never would, and like actually wanting to keep doing that when there's no difference between them and the ones from the past. And it's like, yeah, there was that one gold digger broad that was like, oh yeah, we'll date for a week as I beg you for money and try to drain your resources. But other than that, it's all the same thing of, you know, we can't just say we don't want to do this. We have to red hair you. We have to give you this false hope as a result of our refusal to just be blunt and say, no, I don't want to, I don't want you. No, I don't want to do this. No, I don't want to get involved. They have to do the dog collar tugging. Let's see. Cool. I imply you to title your net. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking of using that now. I mean, I was going to talk about this new Red Scare with the chick thing because people are now using that to like make everybody seem to be a demon. So that'll be something else. But it is that word you just used, negative reinforcement. You know, people tell you all this stuff online, and then you actually go out and, you know, your experiences say the exact opposite. Like it was only when I was getting turned down, so I was like, you can talk to 100 broads and still not end up with anyone. You can talk to 50 voice actors and still not get 3 roles filled. Like all of that is possible. Like any bad, horrible stagnant, crappy scenario has just been proven plausible by the events of just going out and trying to prove the positive results to be something that can happen if you just keep on trying. It's the same thing with the channel. You know, I had one time I was looking at this video that I put up, and it got about maybe 100 views, and the stuff before that got 30, and then the one after that was like I think maybe got 80, and I was like, oh man, we're finally getting up here. We have some people that are showing up regularly. This is great. I was on cloud nine for like 3 days, and the next video after that was like 29 views. I was like, all right, yeah, this is the same thing. And like I said, my views on that on the YouTube situation are morbid as well. I used to think that if you just write something as comedic as possible, put time and effort in this into a video, it would get views. Now I'm actually of the belief that the only way any of this stuff will get any type of attention is if you just post it all over all the other websites. Like literally, I can make something, I don't know, just like any video you can think of that actually takes time and effort. Like it's not just me sitting in the chair. There's effects and a script and all the other words you can think of using, and it would literally get around the exact same number of views just automatically. And you know, you would have people who would enjoy it. You would have people who would say, haha, that part was funny, but they wouldn't share it. They wouldn't say, hey, let's go and let me show this to my brother or whoever the hell else that I think is similar in what they find interesting or entertaining. And that's that kind of the negative reinforcement where you go around and you actually engage in these things because you want to believe the positive, upbeat thing people are trying to sell you online, and you get the exact opposite. Elliot says, "I know it's a game." Yeah, that's what it feels like, and I'm just tired of playing it. Like I wish I could just do the project. I'm tired of not being able to actually do the thing that I'm supposed to do, which is the stuff itself, and have to like be involved in all of these other messes and scandals. Like I would never have thought that the amount of time it took to find voice actors could rival the amount of time it took to actually make the thing. Like that's insane to me. Like I literally, it took a longer time to get a VA for this one role, which was like 3 or 4 months, than it took to make the actual video that they were involved with. Like nobody thinks that's insane. Like what the hell's like what sort of morbid monstrosity has fate turned into for you to have to do that? Like to have the recruitment process be longer than the actual thing that they're supposed to do. Imagine if movies were like that. Oh yeah, we have to find a new actor to play what character? Iron Man or Thor, whoever else, and it takes them a year to find that person. And then they film the movie in like 2 months. Why didn't you make a project about something that's popular, timeline of your own? Well, again, like I said, Elliot, you do that, and it's going to be the exact same thing where it's, oh, look at this great video I did that I'm really proud of. I can't wait for it to get 20 views. And like I said, I'm of the belief now that I can literally do the best video ever, and it still wouldn't. It would not matter, like in the grand scheme of YouTube's algorithm and actually like generating views. Just got here. I don't understand. Do you? No. Boy, I'm not going to get scammed and gypped by people who can't even like. If you can't even do this freelance, there's no way I'm giving you $1 for this. Imagine like them disappearing after getting the cash, and then like I get on here and people tell me I got cucked. I can already picture that scenario. Well, sadly to say, you're in the wrong line of work then. You mean the wrong line of work? Well, Envoy, so here we go with this. If people will flake if they're not paid, then why out of the 8 people that work on the main one, have 7 stayed on? Like I don't understand that. If like what sort of trickery and sorcery am I using to make these unpaid workers be able to remain on this. I wish you had attended earlier, Envoy. You would have seen the point where I mentioned that part of what was frustrating is that you have all of these people who do their stuff when you ask them to and when you request, and they get screwed because that one missing link decides to not do things on time or do it at all, and then everybody else comes tumbling down. No, what I'm saying is some people will stick around, of course, but not everybody. People flake. But like I said, I think if you I tried to explain that if you sign up for something and you know the circumstances, which is that you will do something that is unpaid that gives you extensions. Because first of all, I'm not going to pay you and then, oh my God, I need 2 more months to do this. No. So if they were getting paid, there would be stricter circumstances relating to them doing their stuff. Really pick your poison. It's like, would you rather get paid and have to like acquiesce and bend to my will as your employer, or would you rather have the ability to do your own little thing of, oh, I'll try to get this next week or in 2 weeks or whatever, and do something else. You get my point. No, Envoy's I don't think you get what I was trying to say. And like I said, I would hate to see what would happen if they do that flaking thing after getting compensation. Like I would be on a whole other level of piss if that were to occur. We should have Envoy start writing some scripts, and then he can have me and Mark and Elliot as part of the voice cast, and then watch as Elliot and Mark do their lines, and I just disappear. And he starts sending me messages and going, "Hey, Justin, have you done your lines yet?" And then he doesn't hear from me for a month, and then I'm streaming on YouTube every day, and he's in the chat room going, "Hey, have you done your lines yet?" And then I'm not even looking at his messages. That's literally what it is. Everybody else does their work, and then one person decides not to, so the rest of us get screwed. Well, that's my thing, Envoy, that, like, again, picture this scenario. You have 4 people working on something, 3 of them do it, 1 disappears. You try to message them 2 or 3 times, they're not showing up. You go on these websites, you start typing in, "Hey, I need a new voice actor. Hey, I need a new voice actor. Hey, I need a new voice actor." And then they don't do it. Or rather, out of every 20 people that you meet, 1 person says they will. Hell, it could even be more than that, but that's just the experience I have. And they can't just say, "No, I don't want to do this." They need to have a questionnaire, Jeopardy type interview with you before that. Like, guys, I sat here for half a week talking to one voice actor, if you can even call them that, who asked me all these questions, literally 4 days of getting asked these questions. And then I asked them, "Are you going to do this?" "Oh no, I have all these big projects I'm working on, and I know I wasted your time, but good luck." Man, I wanted to just rip my hair out, because like people really don't get why that's frustrating. The person themselves is so self-aware of their own stupidity that they admitted that they wasted your time. Again, doing the catfish thing. It all comes down to that. Without trust, it won't work. Yeah. But also, without flakes, it will work. If people stick around and they do their stuff, then you don't have to worry about that. And like I said, man, when I did the Envoy, when this is over, I want you to replay the beginning. I did a parody. I actually had one VA who was like, "Oh, I'm currently under the weather, and that's why I haven't." Da, 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 da. It's like, well, dingbat, you had all of last month, presumably when you weren't under the weather, to have done this. Like, again, I have to, like, you really have to chase these people down and get them to record stuff. But again, is what I'm saying really that difficult to understand? Envoy works on the project. He writes the scripts out. He draws it out. He's got four voice actors. Everybody does their lines except one person. And then he's not supposed to be pissed off that the work of him and the other three people is being diminished because one individual with way too much influence on this thing for such a small role has decided to make their essential part scarce and not there. I'm just asking, is that incomprehensible? I'm getting reminded of the Snowflake saga or the Snowflake sequel where the person was like, "Oh, he wants to he doesn't want to watch your video." I was like, "Hey, he doesn't have to watch it, but he's not gonna. I'm not gonna speak to him ever again." He was like, "Oh my God, why would you be so mean? This is bullying." I was like, "Idiot! I'm pissed because he said he would watch a video, and then not only did he flip his position, but he started creating new reasons for why he couldn't just watch this video." So if he cannot appreciate the hours of work I put into that, I'm not going to appreciate him or in the minutes it would take to send him a message ever again. Simple as that. Saying you shouldn't be pissed, but this isn't the first time this has happened to you. There should be a rule where if you sign up, you get charged. That way there a reason to stay. Yeah. But like I said, you can see these kinds of things where they know there's no consequence to it. Like I've had people sit in my DMs, right, private messages, and they write these paragraphs asking all these questions, and I'm like, you don't go through that repeatedly of people like pretending or seeming to have interest and turning out not to be the case, and then not get pissed because you had convinced yourself there's no way someone who is not interested is going to sit there and write a bunch of stuff to you. Like, what would be the point of that? And I get what Envoy's saying about this happened before, but I mean, the chick thing happened repeatedly, and it didn't stop me from getting annoyed every time it did. I eventually got to a point where I saw, all right, screw this. But again, the project thing is frustrating because, because someone won't do a stupid voice. You're supposed to now throw away all your scripts, all of what you've actually produced and edited. Like all that's in the trash because some VAs won't sit down and read something. Like you get the difference, Envoy, that so much of this you can do and you just need this little part and it just won't come. And like, you're upset over that. And you're continuously upset because you give people the time to do this one small thing and they just decline to do it. Don't want to sound horrible, but I have a massive ego to win them over. I mean, yeah. I personally think it's an issue that applies to the whole year. Like when I do that the other video, I'm just gonna like basically say that the main thing that stops this is they're just too picky. Like as long as we have a system where because you have a triangle, you can have like 20, 30 people of the opposite sex going, then you're just going to be stuck with like this problem of, this one group is lionized, the other one has to like jump through hoops to get their master's attention and maybe get screwed for once. And then get told they're entitled as they go out of their way to appeal to the people they're trying to get with. I want Envoy to answer my question. I want him to write me a good, nice, detailed summary with proper grammar and etiquette and whatnot. And then in exchange, I'll be able to reward him with some candy corn. Okay, the thing with me is I don't get annoyed when people let me down. I expect it. So with regards, actually look at it as if it's their law. It's not mine. It's the mindset. Oh yeah, well I don't feel like I'm losing anything by not, let's say, talking the broads, because like I said, I lay out specific terms of what I want to do, and then they, sometimes say they're interested and then don't do it, and sometimes don't say they're interested and ignore me, and you just get one thing or the other. But I don't go into it expecting them to do it because I've been disappointed by them repeatedly. The question I had, Envoy, was, do you understand where it is still frustrating because unlike the chick thing where it takes two people to have this equal relationship 50-50, with this project it's literally like 90-10. Like, you do all this stuff and then this person does do this little piece and it pisses you off because it's a continuous issue that you go out of your way to try and avoid by acquiescing to the schedules of the other people working on this stuff. I know that question sounds a little confusing, so maybe I should rephrase it. Do you get where it's frustrating to be unable to finish or otherwise produce a project where you do the majority of the work because someone can't read a piece of paper? Hopefully that's a good enough response or a good enough phrasing of the question where you won't get confused and go, huh? People are. Hey, Mark, we can't use that word. You meant to say people are very prone to having difficulty in understanding basic forms of comprehension. I always just love to picture like some person with their tongue sticking out, like so confused, and then having like let's say a staircase right in front of them, and they just don't know like to just walk up it, and then you'll be up to wherever you're looking at. Mark, I wanted to also use that same word right before what's the other one? To be honest, right before TBH, that same word, I wanted to use it when I was looking at just some of the behavior, man. Like, oh yeah, I want to be a voice actor. That's why I don't do any of the stuff that I sign up for and waste your time and don't actually record anything. Like, that exact word went through my mind when I was just thinking about that, and then also the fact that I had to go around and send these people these PMs and DMs, uh, and then getting some of the responses. Oh, that you remember that? That's from the one with the chick that got the broad that doesn't have a pot to piss in that's gonna have a baby. Where I was like, two broke bastards got together and said, I have a taco that you can stick your little wiener in." Man, that is a damn shame, dude. I would have never thought in a million years that someone who owns nothing can fall head over heels for another person who owns nothing, to where they get knocked up by them, and then I can still go online and get people telling me, when you own this and you own that, this woman thing would be so much easier. I'm like, well, then how the hell did this crap over here happen? Like, the fact that that can exist and I still get told the other thing is crazy. Like, that is insane. And the person, somebody told me, "Oh, you're so judgmental. They have true love." I'm like, I don't care how much you love someone. If I didn't have a dollar in my pocket, there's no way in hell I'm gonna have a kid. So let's see how much their love takes care of them when they have to put it through school and get it all kind of stuff. It's just gonna be the same old welfare story. Except, like I said, in this particular instance, I have no sympathy because the people are so stupid that they knowingly are bringing this thing into the world with very little coins at their disposal. Let's put it like that. It's all attention seeking, especially women. It's like a dog to them. What's attention seeking? The voice actor thing, or the broke moron that's having the baby? Which one? Why don't you say both? I bet you're gonna say both. I eagerly anticipate, or rather, I eagerly await your response. But yeah, in this upload, I'm gonna take a one of these words that people like to throw around. I just get tired of it because I've never identified as it, and I still get accused of being one. So I'll talk about it more when it comes out. Probably, maybe today, maybe next week. Definitely by next week, most certainly. Not no. All you need is love. Oh yeah, the power of friendship. Everybody wants to make out and kiss and all that. Like I said, this is so dumb. Like the voice actor stuff is stupid. The stuff people and like all the my least favorite part of this, it's the fact that like all this stuff could be handled so much easier if you just had a single group of people that were serious about certain things. Like somebody says, you know what? Instead of auditioning for 30 projects for no reason and getting cast to 10 of them just to not do my lines and like any of them except for maybe one, I'm just gonna have these 2 or 3 projects for the next, I don't know, however long until they're finished. And I'm going to, be on these until for whatever time and promote this stuff and get my name out that way, through making the few things that I'm on get as much attention as possible. But they're not doing it. They think, well, if I just play a musical project, I can be in like 90 things and be known all around. That's like literally an actor saying, instead of having a starring role in 2 or 3 films per year, I'm gonna have a cameo in 20 per year. It's like nobody's gonna know who you are. Like, oh my god, it's just nah. Just in general, but like I said, I don't understand. Like when I was on that site and I spoke to all those different VAs and like they kept doing that thing of like remember, they don't just say no. They have to have like a little synopsis summary thing where they ask you all these questions. I literally just looked at my computer and I was like, I don't know what kind of game this is, but whatever. Because I couldn't comprehend what the point of saying, oh, tell me more about your stuff is if all you're going to do after that is disappear or, say you don't want to do it. That's why I said it feels like it's dual personalities. Say hello to Broad Vulture. He would show up an hour late. He's fashionably late. He wants to be the 11th hour ranger. That's his policy. I also another thing to throw in here is the fact that I have the messages like saved up of just the different times I've spoken to these people. And what I've noticed is that there seems to be this like really weird ambivalence to and we've been over this before where like people are completely different when they type something versus actually saying it, which is why a lot of the nasty stuff. I'm so happy, Broad. I hope you accumulate new wealth. Um, but like I was saying, you have these people that write all this stuff in when they're talking to you in the chat room. And what I feel like is that maybe the best thing to do at this point is to just like limit the number of text interactions because like I noticed a thing where it seems like the nastiest stuff I can remember online was always written by someone. Like people that are so gentle and soft and kind when they get on the phone or when they're recording a video turn into these profane monsters in text. And it's like I've actually had people accuse me of being the opposite, where if I speak, it's more profane, but then if I text, it's more um, you know, professional or whatever. So that's another thing. I'm trying to like limit the number. Like I'm done typing essays to people about stupid stuff. What we're gonna do is we're gonna just do the project, and for every time a voice actor doesn't do their stuff, we're gonna do that. But what we're gonna do it before that is our new plan. Is say, hey, look, can you please record this thing? And then if they want to do it, you go look for someone else. And then if no one online wants to do it, you write the stuff on a little billboard and stand outside your local Walmart. It's like, hey, screw the Waltons, help out the YouTubers. Yeah, that's gonna be the end game of the project. Real life promotion. I would love that to like turn the world into just this big walking billboard. Like have ads on TV for the channel, and then have other promo material all scattered across the web. Oh my god! So I think it's been a relatively enjoyable stream in spite of the circumstances. Like I said, I'm gonna keep on pushing, because I wouldn't have gotten this far with the main one if I didn't show some basic level of adversity when it comes to VAs flaking and disappearing. I guess just expect the unexpected, which is why I write so many of the scripts in bulk, so that if something does, let's say, happen to a person, we can make accommodations based on the fact that they've recorded so far ahead in advance. Um, so thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And I would recommend, if you start a project, you should probably get a few people that can like do a bunch of different voices, and just limit the number of people, because the more you have, and I said this about that beach, that shooting that was at that Virginia beach, the more people there are with anything, the higher the likelihood of something going haywire, because more individuals equals more problems. So thank you, and have a good day.